Welcome to Business as a Magical Practice, where your business is the vehicle for your self-integration and soul evolution. My name is Sam Garcia, and I'm the founder of Dirty Alchemy Digital Marketing. And I'll be guiding you through how you can use your business as a spiritual practice and what magical businesses are doing to hit their goals and change the world. Together, we'll be relating the mystical to the world of business so that our work can unite spirit and matter, shadow and light, conscious and unconscious. Let's dive in. Hi, everyone. So I wanted to do something a little special for our 10th episode of Business as a Magical Practice, but then I thought it would be even more resonant to celebrate every 11 episodes, don't you think? So here we are, and I put my feelers out on what would be a fun turn from our standard teachings and interviews, and this is what you requested, some behind the scenes and a Q&A session, and we're even recording this as an uncut video because people were asking. So here we are in my husband's office. If you're watching on YouTube /man cave, I'm not allowed to clean in here, so don't judge. And if you're listening as a podcast, you can also find this video on the Dirty Alchemy Digital Marketing YouTube channel. And I will not be editing the video, so any flubs I do will be seen there, including like awkward, deep breaths as I lose my breath and weird rooster noises and all that good stuff. So I do have to say that this podcast has been a dream of mine for years, and the actual creation of it in the beginning and every week has not been a letdown. It's been fun and fulfilling, and I'm just so grateful that you're here with me. So thank you for being here with me and for being courageous in releasing your gifts into the world. So first off, with behind the scenes, there could have been a lot of different directions, and I do actually plan on doing some hyper practical behind the scenes of a multiple six-figure online launch that we just completed in the next few episodes. So look forward to that. But today I'm going to keep it light with my spiritual practices. And I have a Mercury dominant chart, so my practices change a lot, surprise, surprise. And I actually ran my kundalini numerology once, and it told me my biggest spiritual practice would be doing a single practice for 1,000 days straight. 1,000 days in a row. But that hasn't happened yet, and I haven't even attempted that challenge yet, so I will keep you posted. And I really think there is such a stigma in the spiritual space that things need to be perfect to be effective. And I know from experience and from seeing the back end of some very successful online businesses that does not need to be true for you if you don't want it to be. People want real, people want relatable, and a lot of, if not most of, business and marketing is just building relationships and forming connections. So back to my spiritual practices. Like most of you, different phases of my life require different things. And for the past few years, I've gone really, really hard on shadow work, which is essentially the act of accepting and embracing the totality of your being, not just the parts that your ego wants. It's bringing the consciousness to the unconscious or the taboo. It's actually the reason why my business is called Dirty Alchemy, because it's like composting. We take our food scraps or yard waste and we compost it. We allow microorganisms and other creatures to break it down into usable and extremely fertile soil. And basically that's what shadow work is doing. It is releasing pent-up energy from your whole self. Notice how I didn't say higher self, your whole self. All that energy of you trying to suppress or hide those things you label as fucked up or messy or shameful, and embracing them or even getting turned on by them. It kind of feels like the opposing work of more traditional law of attraction style teaching, where you're only trying to focus on the positive and the things you want. But to do that without first doing or simultaneously doing shadow work is like standing in a pile of poop while looking up at the sun and wondering why things smell so bad. You have to compost the poop into fertile soil and then plant the seeds of your desires into it and allow the sun to help them manifest. So anyways, I just wanted to quickly go down that path because it's been a huge part of my journey, and I do plan on doing a deep dive episode into it in the future, but I couldn't help myself today. So I did that for years, shadow work for years, and it's actually not a huge part of my regular practice this year. I've been focused a lot more on more mainstream practices, and after doing years of that kind of work, the mainstream law of attraction type stuff has been really fucking fruitful this year. So my daily practice this month has been really basic and low key because we've been pretty swamped with client work, but it's essentially we're just going to go straight into it, filling half a page with gratitudes in the morning, free writing morning pages style, just going through. I'm grateful for Eddie. I'm grateful for Ollie. I'm for my home, for my team, for living on Maui, until I hit half a page in my journal. And I'm trying, in this process, I'm trying to really, really feel the gratitude in my heart and in my body. And then in the second half of that page, I'm writing out my desires. So feeling into the excitement of simply wanting those things too. So I desire to own a home on Maui. I desire for it to rain, to visit my family in Michigan, to make X amount of dollars this month, to feel full of energy all day long, etc., etc., etc. So that is part 2. And then after that, I've been, and this is so funny to say, I'm almost embarrassed, but it's been feeling really good to do, so I'm going to share. I've written myself a little 1 to 2 minute script that encapsulates the energy of the goal I'm currently working on, and I read it. I probably don't need a script, but when it's early in the morning or I'm in a mood, being able to read something that just makes it doable and makes it so I can shift my energy quickly, which is a real blessing on challenging days or challenging weeks. And I'm saying speaking, I made a script so I can speak it out. I can actually say it out loud, which, if you're familiar with human design, I'm a manifester, and I heard from a human design teacher that it's really powerful for manifestors and manifesting generators to actually speak out what they're trying to create in the world. Like that actual act of speaking is effective for them. So I've been playing around with it. Seems to be working. But so for an example, like, oh my God, I did it. It worked. I can't believe it worked, but it did. It was easier than I thought it would be. It happened quicker than I thought it would be. I didn't know how this would happen, but it did. And then on and on for 1 to 2 minutes with specifics, of course, but I'm getting a little embarrassed right now. So I'm not going to go 100%, but I do when I'm doing this on a daily basis to myself. So at that point, I'm feeling really good. So I sit and think about and visualize my desired end result. The goal is done. I did it. I imagine myself doing the things I do with that desired end result. So, for example, looking at the spreadsheet I've been tracking numbers on and seeing the numbers hit and getting up and freaking out and telling my husband who's in the other room and texting my best friend, what the actual fuck, I can't believe it happened. Like that sort of stuff. And also identifying all the feelings I'm feeling in my body now that I've achieved my desired end result. So for me, it's been overjoyed, in awe of it, grateful, proud, powerful. So that's pretty much it. That's what I've been doing this month. And it actually takes less than 10 minutes and it's super simple. And right now I'm really loving having something I can do every day that makes me feel really good. And I'm not going to go into the specifics of results, but this particular little 4-step thing, the pairing of the writing with the emotions and the visualizations and the speaking, has been really, really effective for me in terms of what's happening in my physical reality, how quickly things are moving. So I can't help but share, even though it's like so basic. Sometimes I'm embarrassed to like share like the basic stuff that I'm doing just because I'm like, oh, this isn't complex. Like everyone knows about this, but that's what I've been doing. So that's my behind the scenes. And quick recap of that is writing gratitudes, writing desires, speaking out loud as if the desired end result is here, visualizing as if the end result happened and really feeling in my body the feelings that come up. I've just been doing this every day for, I don't know, a month. Maybe longer, maybe 2 months. So Maybe my spiritual practice needs to be a monthly edition because my practices do tend to change a lot, as I said in the beginning. But just touching on some other things that I pull in from time to time, not necessarily daily, is I often do EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, or tapping. I'll just generally just go on YouTube and search Gala Darling and do one of the videos she has on her YouTube channel. Kundalini yoga is often a regular practice. In my practice, it hasn't been this month, but I'm actually thinking that I need to pull a kriya of some sort back into my day-to-day because it just makes me feel good, and moves energy crazy quickly. And if you've never done Kundalini yoga before, it's definitely weird as fuck. It's more on the breathwork side than any sort of yoga you're familiar with. But in terms of that, I really like Ego Eradicator, their version of cat cow, and left nostril breathing. Those are all super quick. You can do them in 1 to 3 minutes and feel an actual change in your body and in your energy. And I've also done quite a few 40-day kriyas of 11-minute practices from Kundalini yoga. But yeah, and those make me feel really sparkly, but I'm not currently doing those. So those ones are good they take a few days of them doing them in a row to actually feel the power of it, but you definitely tap into that after a few days. So, part 2 of our very special episode, what I'm loving right now. So, since this is the first time I'm doing this, and I could talk about things I love for hours, I'm just going to choose 3 things that I've loved for a long time. So the first one is Toggl. That is Toggl, no E. It is a time tracker app on the computer. It's how I track my time. It's how I make my team track their time. It's free. And even if you don't do work for clients and you're not in a service-based industry, I really recommend you start tracking all of your time starting now. Knowing how you're spending your time and learning what's most effective in your business is so important to transitioning your business as a job for you into an actual business where you can delegate to a team and where you can make really informed decisions. So that is Toggl, Toggl. The next one is ThreadUp. So coming from an environmental background, I've held a lot of guilt around buying things and creating more waste on the planet. And even though I've really loved clothes and fashion and the fact that we as women can adorn ourselves and have that be a part of our self-care, and I actually really believe that it can assist in collapsing time and stepping into a future version of you, there's just been a lot of guilt about buying new clothes. So ThreadUp is great because it is essentially a virtual thrift store. They have so many things, including designer clothing, including things that still have tags on them, which, I mean, is shockingly common how many people will buy things and never wear them and just throw them away. So you're buying used, so at least you aren't adding to the evil behemoth that is the fashion industry. If you're watching YouTube, this was from ThreadUp. The third thing that I really love are blue blocker glasses. And if you spend long hours on your computer, these are great. I'm sure you can dig into all of the science behind them and why they work. But I just know that I'm less frazzled and fried at the end of an 8 hours on the computer day when I wear them. So I tend to wear them when I work on the computer. I got mine off of Amazon for $15. They're really cute. They are called, and I looked this up, blue light blocking glasses for women, men, retro round clear lens eyeglasses in gold. And we'll put those in the show notes with a link. They're by Curson with a K. Curson. So on to our Q&A. Question number 1 we got set in was, do you have favorite tools to break through the feeling of being tired / unfocused and generally procrastinating? My answer is coffee. But another thing I thought of was there's a technique called the Pomodoro technique that is pretty cool. There's a whole background story about a guy in Italy and a tomato-shaped kitchen timer, but you essentially set a timer for 25 minutes and you work on one thing Focus on one thing with zero multitasking for those 25 minutes. And when the timer goes off, you take a 5-minute break and then you repeat 3 times and then do a longer 15-minute break. And like you can just Google Pomodoro technique and there's full write-ups on it. And there's actual studies on the power of giving your brain a break when you're working on things. And so that's implementing that as well. But I don't do this often. I used to do it every single day. But I do find when I practice it that I do feel so much more rested at the end of a workday. Those 5-minute breaks seriously help. And you get a lot done because you aren't multitasking. And who can't be focused? Do focus work for 25 minutes. I mean, you also get to race the clock, which I find pretty motivating. When I do it, I usually do it for 45 minutes, 10 minutes off, because I find that it usually takes me more like 45 minutes to finish a project, and getting cut off at 25 minutes makes me frustrated. So check that out as a different, when you're feeling unfocused or frazzled or whatever during a workday and you still have a lot to get done, set a 25-minute timer and just focus on that one thing for 25 minutes and see how that works for you. So question number 2, do you have a favorite mantra or meditation or exercise that gets you through those days? I take a break. I go outside or I lay horizontal for 10 minutes. That usually helps for me. Or just going for a walk or doing 3 minutes breath of fire or ego eradicator, that kundalini kriya I mentioned earlier. And sometimes you just need to get your eyes off the computer and turn off for a few minutes. That usually helps for me. Okay, and what is your favorite thing about being an entrepreneur? I get to do it all my way. I love that I get to make the rules, and I think I'm getting better and better and better at that. And I think what I mean by that is usually, I know I'm not the only one, when you start off owning a business or working for yourself, you tend to be really mean to yourself and give yourself a really hard time, or you think really small. But as time goes on, you keep proving to yourself that you're powerful and you're good at what you do. You start dreaming bigger and bigger, and you also just get better at giving yourself a little bit of compassion. Another aspect I like is that I get to build a team. So it was a really big desire for me to give someone work, to create a job for someone out of thin air. And I think a lot of people work crap jobs for crap people. And I know, harsh, but it's true. And I just love that I can give what I think is really cool work to people who are into that work. So, yeah. Well, thank you, everyone. That is all for today. Thanks for being with me for 11 whole episodes. I hope you had fun with me today. I know I did. You can find me over at The Dirty Alchemy on Instagram. And let me know what you are loving right now. What are 3 things you're loving, or one thing? And make sure and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I'm here every Thursday. Come hang out.